Welcome to Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness. Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is the use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use to its balance in favor of fair use. Y'all, trigger warning to me too, because this is very upsetting to me. Hello there, Chris. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Tiffany. Hello, our bucket list. Good to see you too. Thanks. So everyone, please hit the like, subscribe, and share. Hi there, Peggy. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in too. This guy right here, Josiah, Matthew, Backus, age 26, in Walker County, Georgia. You're going to hear me say a few choice words, which y'all know I will. I try to behave, but some of these cases just angers me. I know it angers y'all as well. So going here with this, here's the guy right here. Walker County man admits to sexually abusing 3 young relatives. Here he is, right here. Look at his picture, really good. The brief, Walker County man admits to sexually abusing 3 young relatives. Josiah Backus, sentenced to life in prison, 35 years without parole. So to say, after 35 years, guess what? He's going to be eligible for parole. So how can you say sentenced to life in prison when in 35 years he's got the possibility of parole? Okay, that's what burns me up right here, okay? A 26-year-old Walker County man has been sentenced to life in prison after admitting to sexually abusing 3 young relatives. Prosecutors say Josiah Matthew Backus pled guilty to multiple counts of aggravated child molestation and child molestation. Under the sentence handed down August 28, 2025, Backus will serve at least 35 years behind bars before being eligible for parole. There's a backstory. The case began in August 2024 when a family friend reported that Backus had confessed to abusing his 6 and 8-year-old nieces and his 5-year-old nephew. The Walker County Sheriff's Office immediately launched an investigation, and Detective Eddie Hill arranged forensic interviews at the Children's Advocacy Center. During those interviews, the children disclosed repeated assaults, and their accounts supported one another. In his own interview with detectives, Backus admitted to the abuse. He later entered a guilty plea in court. At least he didn't plead not guilty. A lot of them won't go ahead and confess up. At least he confessed up. That's the good side about it, right? Chief Assistant District Attorney Lindsay Chapman led the prosecution for the Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit District Attorney's Office, while Detective Hill spearheaded the investigation. What they are saying. District Attorney Clayton M. Fuller praised the children for their bravery and the agencies involved in the case. Thank y'all, kids. Yes, you are very brave for coming forward. Yes, you are. The Senate sends a clear message: those who prey upon our children will face a full force of justice in this community. We will not tolerate predators who destroy the innocence of the most vulnerable. Excuse me, why is it the full force of justice? Life in prison will really be the full force without the possibility of parole. Okay? That's what we want. Or the death penalty, okay? We don't want him to be able to ever get out of jail where he can abuse another kid. All right? He also credited the Children's Advocacy Center, its executive director, Anthony Dye, and senior forensic interviewer Holly Kittle for their work. Thanks for the courage of these children and the tireless work of our partners, this man will never again harm another child. How do you know? Because in 35 years, guess what? 61 years old, he could still get out of jail and still harm a kid. So don't give us that BS, okay? Here he is again. There might be something different. That's why I read different articles, as y'all know me. Man, 26, sentenced for child sexual abuse. A 26-year-old Walker County man has been sentenced to life in prison with the first 35 years to be served without the possibility of parole for child sexual abuse. Josiah Matthew Backus has been convicted of multiple counts of aggravated child molestation and child molestation after admitting to repeated sexual abuse of three children who were relatives. It's saying basically the same stuff right here. We'll go up here. Detective Eddie Hill coordinated forensic interviews of the children through the Children's Advocacy Center. Senior forensic interviewer Holly Kittle conducted the interviews where all three children disclosed the abuse. They corroborated one another, describing repeated sexual assaults. There he is right here. In his own interview with Detective Hill, Backus admitted to the repeated abuse. He later pled guilty to multiple counts of aggravated child molestation and child molestation. The prosecution was led by Chief Assistant District Attorney Lindsay Chapman at the Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit District Attorney's Office. Detective Hill of the Walker County Sheriff's Office spearheaded the investigation. It says again, the sentence sends a clear message: those who prey upon our children will face the full force of justice in the community. We will not tolerate predators who destroy the innocence of the most vulnerable. And they think, getting to the children again. And it said, in Northwest Georgia, we stand guard for our children and ensure that those monsters spend the majority of their days in a dark prison cell. How about those in Atlanta, y'all? That seems to be, maybe that's a little bit central West Georgia. I don't know. But how about making everything safer for all children? Okay, you see these related stories over here too? 20 years for child sex crimes. Pedophile sexually exploited teenage girl and paid her for sex. Excuse me. These are nonstop stories all the time. Yeah, it is sickening, isn't it? So please get this story out. And this is very upsetting, sickening. What do y'all say? Do y'all think that it's good for him to get 35 years basically before he can do probation? Or y'all for him staying completely in jail his life sentence? What they had said, that he's going to serve a life sentence. Don't take it back away by giving him the possibility of parole at 35 years. Oh no, look how young he is. He's 26 years old. Look at that. Josiah Matthew Backus. Oh boy. So I'm tired of these people a lot of times saying, we're going to protect our children. And a lot of people, times the person, guess what? They let them out of jail on probation. So how do y'all really prosecute these people when you give them probation? Okay, I want to know that. Riddle me that, Batman. Come on, be real. We want the full extent of the law because how long does a child suffer after they have these kind of things done to them? Usually a lifetime. And these are growing kids. Their minds are growing. They deserve to be loved and nurtured. And I want to praise these kids for stepping forward. And I want to praise that guy and the family that told. And I want to praise him for stepping forward and getting him on the street. And I do want to thank him for going ahead and acknowledging that he did this heinous crime. You're 36 now? This is really crazy, isn't it, y'all? We want to send a clear message not to harm our children. But guess what? How many have y'all seen? I seen another story today about somebody that was let out of jail when he's supposed to have a life sentence. And when he went to court, guess what? They let him out on probation. Exactly. Life should be life. And they need to quit starting it off with a sentence, saying that he was a lifetime in parole, right? Oh, you'll be 51 next week? Oh, happy early birthday. So be sure we stand up for our kids because they're worth it. And make sure that they try to change the laws. That if you say they're going to spend life in jail, make them spend life in jail. Don't turn the tables on them. These kids are going to always remember, and they're a lot younger than him. So by the time they get out of jail and he's a family member, they just say that they're not going to come back after, you know, and bother the kids for, you should have never told. You know, narcissists will blame the child a lot of times. Thank you so much, and may God bless y'all. Keep up the good work, my friends. I'm proud of y'all.